the Kennedy assassination still generates more suspicion than almost any other.
It's in part Kennedy. Part of the fascination on this is that it's Jack Kennedy and the Kennedys. It was William Manchester who said that psychologically, there's something about the Oswald end that doesn't fit with Jack Kennedy. If you look at the Holocaust, for instance, there's some equal parity. There's, on the one hand, 6 million dead victims. On the other hand, you have the Nazis, the worst possible criminals. They sort of balance with each other. If you look at the Kennedy assassination, on the one hand, you have this charismatic young president. And on the other hand, you have this just-turned 24-year-old sociopathic loser in life with a $20 rifle. It doesn't balance right. You want to put something heavier on the Oswald part of the scale. And a conspiracy does that very well.
So it's sort of, to me, a prism that reflects back on our society and human nature. It's no longer about the assassination. It's about ourselves.
In this examination of ourselves, the History National Survey has not only uncovered that a majority of Americans believe it was a conspiracy, but which of us are driving these beliefs.
Evidence or proof?
It appears men are slightly more likely than women to believe in a conspiracy. People who live in southern states are more likely to believe in conspiracy than those who live in the north. Non-white Americans are more likely to believe there was a conspiracy than white Americans, while people over 50 are more likely than those aged 18 to 49. People earning less than $100,000 a year are more likely to believe in conspiracy than those who earn over $100,000. And people without a college degree are more likely to believe in their degree-holding counterparts. And in a surprising show of bipartisanship, Democrats and Republicans are equally likely to believe in a conspiracy. Yet regardless of gender, age, or income, a majority of all Americans believe we still don't know who was behind the assassination.
People are interested. It was the assassination of the president of this country, and I think it is still today as important as it was then to ascertain who did this and why was it done.
You'll never change the bare fact that Oswald, acting alone, physically committed the act, and there's no evidence to this date, 50 years later, that anyone helped him.
Something doesn't smell right, and it's in our nature to question.
It's just hard for us to imagine one man pulling something like that off.
Definitely, I think it was a conspiracy.
I think the growth of public skepticism from initial acceptance of the Warren Commission to almost complete skepticism now is a reflection of the information that we've gained. No, there's no smoking gun out there yet, but there's a lot more evidence, and that's what public skepticism has come from.
82 trained medical people, government agents, investigators, through the years, have come forward and said that the shot came from the front. Well, the other side will say, they're just wrong. How can you be so damn arrogant?
Would like to have legal representation.
That's not to say that a reasonable person couldn't say Lee Harvey Oswald did it alone and reject the evidence indicating that more people were involved. On the other hand, a reasonable person can say, no, not a conspiracy nut, but the sufficient evidence to put credence in a conspiracy. So when you come to me and you tell me what you think about the assassination, it's like a Rorschach test. It tells me more about you than it does about the evidence.
This lack of agreement on the basic evidence may explain why the mystery still persists. The truth is out there, but the details have become so mired in controversy that the number of Americans who believe we'll never know the full truth is 89%.
We're never going to know. I think that there's a lot of cover-up.
We will never know.
If they couldn't have figured it out by now, I don't think we ever will.
And I think worse than that, if we ever do hear the truth, most of us won't believe it.
There are two realities here. One reality is that at its core,
This is a very simple case. In fact, within hours of the shooting in Dealey Plaza, Dallas law enforcement, they knew that Oswald had killed Kennedy. And when they learned his background, they were satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that he had acted alone. That reality still exists. This is a very simple case at its core. But there's another reality here. Because of the hundreds upon hundreds of allegations over the last 50 years, this simple case has been transformed into the most complex murder case by far in world history. Nothing even remotely comes close. More words have been written about it than any other single one day event in world history. Almost all of them are pro-conspiracy books. So all the American public's been getting for 50 years is a steady bombardment of pro-conspiracy propaganda, and eventually it takes its toll.